I picked the perfect intro song for us.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Super
Is it I
classic.
Got You, Babe?
Yes, how did you know? What's up, y'all? How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to the very first episode of Beer Clock with Steve and Adam. I'm looking at where my camera used to be, and I need to look at where my camera is. So happy to have you guys come out tonight. Adam, how are you doing, good buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you out there, virtual people in virtual internet land?
Virtual people, but our love for you is beyond virtual. Our
Exceedingly beyond.
exactly, yes. Our love for you all knows no bounds. We're honored to have each and every one of you fine folks in our lives. So, welcome into the podcast. Trying something a little bit new here tonight. It's funny because I have a mixture of like just utter excitement and no, I absolutely did not trim my beard, Eric. My beard is still way too big. I need to do something about it, but no, I had the feeling I have here is just a mixture of just sheer utter excitement and joy and anticipation of what's going to happen here tonight. But then at the same time, I'm also kind of like, how is this going to be? Because Adam, this is the deal. Adam and I have been talking about this for a little while here. And the thing that we both kind of decided was like, when we're like off script and just coming from, who knows where, is kind of when we tend to have the most fun. So
Absolutely.
We've planned, but we've also kind of consciously not planned at the same time.
It's going to be like the Seinfeld of podcasts. It's like about nothing.
Right.
But still you want to watch it.
Right, yeah, the Seinfeld of podcast. I like that, yeah, which should hopefully alleviate us from any kind of responsibility of having to actually make something here that's professional in any way, whatsoever. So, yeah, we'll see. But so, anyways,
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll find out here. So, Beer Clock, what's it all about?
Thanks.
This is the thing. Hey, what's up, Dr. Cuddy? Actually, let's give some shout outs first. We got our boy Gil, the Mr. G, the Retro Gamer, Dr. Cuddy, my lovely wife, Carrie, Eric Wright, one of the first in the door, Daniel Clay, Crazy Clay.
Crazy Clay Gaming.
Also may know the Spellcaster, possibly, but much love for Crazy Clay. We love that guy. So, look at that.
Right here?
That is so freaking cool. Oh, my gosh. But yeah, so hey, what's up, Cool Beans guy in here? Marcelo, welcome back, buddy. So anyways, what's Beer Clock all about? Like I said, this kind of came from a conversation between Adam and myself where we were just like, we really enjoyed doing 7 Deadly Sins together a while back, and I was just like, well, what's something else we could do? And we talked about a few different ideas and never really quite settled on anything. He's like, yeah, have a beer, exactly. Well,
we can do that.
well, I can do that all day. But we were just like, what if just two guys hanging out, having fun? Beer Clock is all about like, you've had a hard day, the day's over, and you just want to crack open a cold one with a good buddy and have a conversation and just chill, right?
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. And the cool thing about the internet is that we get to do that, but all of you guys get to take part in that with us as well. So we are super stoked to be able to enjoy this evening with you guys. So thank you all for coming out here. If you're joining us from Server Life Gaming, all the comments will be monitored over on Retro Death Row. So join us over there. If you're just going to lurk and watch.
Talk to you about that. I don't think it cross posted, so I think we're just here.
Oh, did it not? Did you get a notification for the to approve it?
Yes.
You got a notification to approve the cross post?
I sent it to you.
Oh no, like there's a thing where like you can make it to where when we cross post you have to click OK before it'll go live. If you didn't get a notification for that, then whatever. If not,
well,
then,
at any rate, we're on Retro Death Row tonight, guys.
At any rate, oh, that sucks. Oh man. I wish it would have worked. But anyways, the whole thing is that we just wanted to be able to have some casual fun with you guys and just sit and chit chat. So On that note, you may have noticed in the stream description, if you want to submit a question to Adam and I, or if you would like to submit a topic for us to talk about, just enter hashtag BOCPod at the beginning of your comment, and then type to your heart's content after that. So anyways, yeah, we would love for you guys to, because like I said, we want you guys to be able to be a part of this as well. We want this to be something where we can all just interact together and have fun and stuff. So, that being said, Adam, what are you enjoying tonight? What sort of lovely beverage do you have in hand?
So the inaugural one I felt would be kind of cool as I was dipping into my refrigerator of both discount bargain bin beer and not so much. I unearthed this Epicurean peanut butter and raspberry jelly
Ooh.
beer from my favorite brewery here in Ohio called Urban Artifact. They specialize in sours mainly, and pretty much all of their. Oh wait, you know what? Now it's catching up. Now it says that I'm cross-posted over here. We got
Oh,
15
well, good.
people, and anyway, that's weird. Anyway, so they specialize in sours, so pretty much all of their beers are very heavy on the fruits and stuff like that. And I really like beer like that, especially in the summer. But I'm also the weird guy that likes to drink that in the wintertime, and it sucks because all the stores don't sell them anymore at that point seasonally. So anyway, I found this gem, and it's like they have a special type of beers called Epicurean style. And there's two other ones that they have that are Epicurean. And what does Epicurean mean? I'm so glad you asked. There's the the definition. I had to look it up because I didn't know. It was like fond or adapted to luxury or indulgence in sensual pleasures. Now,
Ooh.
so if that doesn't
Sensual
sound like a
pleasures.
sell,
What?
that doesn't sell you on the beer, I don't know what is. But anyway, so the other two were Epicurean Bloody Mary, which I have had and is delicious. I'm a huge Bloody Mary fan, so that was amazing. And then the other one was a spicy dill pickle, which I have not tried, but I definitely would. So for a peanut butter and raspberry beer, it is a little bit on the high end of the ABV, and it's 8.5%. So as we go through this beer, I might start to sound funnier to me only. So if that's the case, just move on. We'll move it on. But it is really good. It's actually way more raspberry than it is peanut butter. The peanut butter is kind of more of a subtle back end kind of thing, not to sound like one of those uber beer snobs. But yeah, delicious, easy drinking, make you glued to the couch after two. You know, that's about all I got.
So basically like any other night for me, right? Just glued to the couch,
Yeah,
pretty much. So, well,
yeah,
that's cool.
exactly.
Well, that's cool, man. What did you say? Okay, now what was that again? The peanut butter and what?
It's Epicurean peanut butter and raspberry jelly.
That is awesome. Epicurean peanut butter and raspberry jelly. Does that not sound insane, people? Good
From
gosh.
Urban Artifact. If you're ever in Ohio, and you want to go to a really cool brewery, check it out. It's like in an old abandoned church that they rebuilt and redid and put a brewery inside. It's crazy.
Sweet. Well, cool. Well, thanks for sharing that one. This one, sorry, I've been struggling over here because the music all of a sudden decided to stop working. So I've got right here, and you guys have seen this a few times before, but I'm going to show this one again. There's a great local brewery called Mother's Brewery, and they have, it's like one of my favorite beers that I've ever tasted, probably. It's called the Great Cobra Scare of 53. It is a sour mash ale. It is delicious. It's crisp without being harsh. I'm not any kind of beer connoisseur, so certainly don't take me for that. But this thing is delicious from beginning to end, and it's one of those that, like, ever since the first time I had it, I was just like, good golly, this thing is delicious. So I was thinking inaugural episode. Yes, I've talked about it before. But I got to represent this thing to the fullest because it is just so freaking good. But yeah, Great Cobra Scare 53, Mother's Brewery, a fantastic local brewery that just does a dang good job. So Yeah, I had to bring their stuff in here for us to enjoy together. Sorry guys, but the alerts are acting a little bit funky. Apologize. Apparently we're getting the sounds but not getting the little pop-ups and stuff like that, so sorry about that. But so I'm gonna crack this thing open. Sheesh, what are we waiting for here?
I didn't wait on you for what it's worth.
Oh, well, that's good. Ooh, Gil's got a good question here, actually, since we just talked about our beers. What is your favorite snack with your beer, says Gil.
Ooh, definitely chips.
Chips?
If I'm narrowing it down to like my top two go-to chips, probably salt and vinegar or good old-fashioned Doritos.
Salt and vinegar or good old-fashioned Doritos. Okay. What were those barbecue chips that you sent me that were so awesome?
Oh, the Grippos.
Grippos, yeah, those
Yeah.
were so good. Like,
Oh,
you
man,
really
they're
talked these up, and I was like, okay, chips are chips, but oh man, I had to stand corrected after that because those were really, really good chips.
Oh man, they're amazing.
Anybody else
But
have any fave snacks? Then certainly feel free to shout those out for us so we can give those a little bit of respect. It's a good question there, Gil.
they actually sell that in a seasoning bottle here. Just the seasoning that they put on the chips. So you can imagine putting that on like pizza, or chicken wings or something. Really good. Going back to our love of chicken wings that we've discussed previously.
Yes, we like you the chicken wings. Oh man.
Jeremy says Warrior versus Win, guys. Dragon Warrior versus Win, guys.
I don't know, man. I don't know how you would do that as a versus. That would be an interesting try though. Tyler Daniel says spicy nachos for the win. Gil Guerrero says
spicy nacho for sure.
spicy nacho is great.
Oh yeah.
They used to have, and maybe they still have these. I know because I know they'll do these things regionally, but like there was like a salsa verde Doritos for a while there that I don't think they make anymore. But those were very, very
I've never had it.
Yeah, I loved them, and I haven't had them in years, so no, I have not been able to enjoy them with the beer, but I'm sure they would be fantastic. So, Hey, what's up, Brittany?
Verde, though.
Oh yeah, love the Verde. So, Adam, did you have something you wanted to talk about in the hopper here?
In the hopper. What's in the hopper mean?
Just in the hopper, like ready to go. Like, was there something in particular you wanted to talk about tonight?
Well, I know that. Well, see, I don't want to bring stuff out of order. I don't have anything pressing. I don't know if you wanted to dive into that streamer conversation that we had talked about.
Yeah, why don't we go ahead and talk about that here a little bit. Sorry, I'm kind of scrambling a little bit on my side because, like I said, all the music decided to just stop working. But yeah, okay. Let me click over here on my screen and we're gonna bring this up. But okay, so there was a guy out there named Alex Hutchinson. This isn't exactly late breaking news, but it's something that seems to keep coming up because I keep seeing articles pop up about this. But this guy, he's a game developer. He made a tweet on October 22nd, and the date I think is kind of important to mention here. He made a tweet that caused quite a few ripples in the gaming community, saying that streamers should have to pay developers and publishers for licenses to stream the games that they play on stream. So let's see if we can bring this up here. But yeah, this guy, like I said, he made this statement. And as you can imagine, there's a lot of people who had a lot of opinions about that. This is his Twitter account right here. There we go. Sorry, making sure that came up there. This is his Twitter account right here. You're going to notice a couple of different things here. Number one, he has not tweeted again since. You can see here his last tweet. He says, anyway, gonna hop online, stream some Fall Guys. Who's up for it? Has not tweeted again since, and that tweet was the same day of the controversial tweet. Second thing is, if you're up on this story at all, you'll know that one point that a lot of people made was that his profile here said that he was creative director at Google Stadia. If you look at his profile now, it no longer says that. Now, whether that's because he's been fired or whether that's simply because Google is wanting to kind of distance themselves from him, which they have ever since making those statements, they have absolutely distanced themselves from him. One way or the other, I think it's kind of interesting that he's no longer has that listed as part of his profile. So, Adam, what are your thoughts on this? What do you think about this statement?
Well, I feel with as much prep time as I've had to do this, I should have this well thought out, organized thought, but I don't. So I guess going off the top, how I immediately feel about it is I guess you could see it both ways, but I think to really agree with the idea that streamers should have to pay back developers a certain degree of the profits that they make while using their products. I mean, you can't tell me that these large streamers, don't get some kind of incentive for reviewing a game a certain way or whatever. Because, any streamer that plays, a popular streamer that plays a game right when it comes out or something, people are going to go buy it if they tell them to, or, whatever. Like, I mean, I remember when I was watching streamers, one of the defenses that I use as to watching it was like, well, sometimes they play games that I want to buy. And if I, not this way I get to see it. And, if I like it, then I'll go buy it. So, I mean, I feel like there's already enough incentive for developers through streamers to warrant that, the guy who's streaming to, 8 people in his basement, should have to give 10% back to Activision or EA Sports, or something because, he was just was happen to be playing the game in his basement and people liked it. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I think it's kind of crazy. One of the statements that was made by a higher profile streamer at the time was that streamers would have to take out a loan to be able to get into streaming and to pay licenses, or like how could you afford to pay this or to be able to play multiple games at any given time. It's a statement that over and over again people have really taken issue with. You'll notice here, let me see here in this article, and this has a little bit closer up view of the tweet, the problematic tweet itself. It says streamers worried about the real truth is that streamers should be paying the developers and publishers of the games they stream. They should be buying a license like any real business and paying for the content that they use. Now, playing devil's advocate here for a second, I get where he's coming from to a certain point, because I mean, these are people who've worked really hard to produce a product and to get it out into the market and make as much money as possible. But at the same time, like you had said, this is kind of a mutually beneficial thing in that we buy the games, we play the games, and
look at all the advertising they get from it.
Exactly. I want to hear in the chat, is there anyone in the chat who has bought a game purely because they saw it streamed? I know I have. Adam, has that been you at all? Have you ever purchased any games just because you saw someone else play it and you thought it looked good?
Yeah, Cuphead comes to mind immediately.
Yeah. There's been numerous games, and honestly, I think one of the biggest ones that's a big part of our life even now, at which my wife's sitting 2 feet away from me playing it at the moment, is Destiny 2. If it's not a retro game, Destiny 2 is really kind of the only game that I play. It's about all I have time for. So I have spent, good Lord, probably I'm trying to think between the two of us, probably a couple $100 on this game, just because it's a game that grows and evolves over time, and there's been multiple DLC releases and stuff like that, where the game has just kind of consistently become this bigger and bigger thing. And every time you get one of these downloads, it's something that takes something that it basically makes something completely new. And it makes it so much a bigger deal than what it was initially. And all of that was because we saw someone playing it on stream and we enjoyed it. I'm seeing some people here. Dead by Daylight, Cuphead, definitely. Chris Waugh says Ark. My son's been playing Ark all day long, practically. You don't see it on the TV because he's not playing it right now. But yeah, we're seeing several. I bought Diablo 3 and Cuphead because of streamers, says Adam Schmidt. Several people mentioning games that they bought because of streamers. Among Us. Among Us is a huge one, says Chris. That game's taken on an entirely new life. A lot of people didn't know what Among Us was until 2 months ago. That game's existed for 2 years.
Yeah.
I was shocked to find that out.
I was blown away by that too when somebody was like, yeah, you know, this game's been out for a long time, right? I'm like, what? How is that possible?
I was amazed because I had no idea. Yeah, to me, I thought it was absolutely brand new. But no, this game's been out for a couple of years, but it's taken on a whole new life because, again, of streamers here. I think this tweet was really interesting. Dan TDM. I don't know if you guys know who Dan TDM, but he's a favorite in our house. Our kids have loved watching his videos for years. He's a little more, kid-oriented sort of content, but he's a really, really good content creator or whatever. But millions of followers on YouTube. He responded to the tweet saying, terrible take. The amount of exposure streamers and YouTubers give to games just by playing them is worth major money by itself. Some games only market through influencers now because it is so strong and it works. And then he replies to his own tweet a few minutes later, which it's funny because I can imagine him going to the guy's profile to be like, who is this schmuck? And he comments again. He says, you're also creative director at Stadia. Stadia literally paid me and many others to promote their product. It's talk about getting dunked on.
It's almost like he comes back with the and another thing.
And another thing, right?
you know?
Yeah. So, yeah, Chris says CJ loves Dan TDM. Dan's fantastic. It's funny because Dan plays a lot of games that I really don't have any interest in. But he's a great streamer and a great content creator and stuff. But there's a lot of kids that have bought Minecraft because of Dan. And there's a lot of people that have bought many, many games because they watched someone else stream it and they thought it looked fun.
He said he bought Dead by Daylight because of Server Life Gaming. You hear that? I'm an influencer now, guys. Let's go.
More like an under the influencer. Oh!
Wah, wah, wah.
Where's my air horn button? Hold on here.
Where's my air horn button? See, you get the sound effects. This isn't fair.
Hey, chat, let me know how the audio mix sounds. I'm still getting weird stuff over here. If everything sounds okay. Can you hear the music at all? Is the music too loud? Can you hear Adam okay? Just let me know. ATH says, I got World War Z because of you guys. Do you play World War Z, Adam?
I have watched it. I don't personally play it.
I was just thinking because I've had 3 different people ask me recently if I have World War Z, which I don't, and it makes me think I probably need to check that
I
out,
almost got it yesterday because it's on Game Pass right now. So I almost downloaded it, but then I was like, I don't really have too many people that I know that play it, and I definitely just wouldn't want to go in there blind solo. So I was like, meh.
Oh, it's on Game Pass. Well, I'm going to have to check that out then.
Yeah, for sure. If
the person who asked me is on PS4, which I don't know, maybe it's cross-platform, I don't know, but if it's on Game Pass, heck, I'll try it out. I've tried out tons of stuff because it's on Game Pass.
Right, me guilty.
Any other thoughts on this topic, Adam?
I mean, I guess I don't really know what he's trying to achieve by making something like that. To me, that's almost just like a statement to stir the pot for the sake of stirring the pot. And I feel like you said the other day that either it was on a thread of that post or another post in general, but it was just full of streamer hate posts.
Yeah.
And I believe you were like, what is streamers could we possibly, do that's so bad to warrant all of this hate talk, and then we were like, oh yeah, stream share in other groups or whatever. But I mean, essentially, I think the streaming community, I know we've already touched on it, but I feel like it gives so much more back to gaming than what they really get out of it. You know what I mean? I feel like I've learned a lot more about games in the industry and everything since I started following streamers than I ever would have if I just was like, oh, I saw this pretty dope commercial on TV. I want to go buy the game. You know what I mean? I feel like it's like an information center, and stuff like that is, I mean, that's knowledge is power, you know, and then you're more inclined to go out and buy these products because you know more about them. So, I mean, I don't really know the leg to stand on in that particular argument. I mean, plus you have to think that they're already buying the game. You know, they're not pirating it. They're not getting a free copy through the developer and making money off of it. They paid the money just the same as everybody else.
Yeah.
What they did to do with the medium is not their fault. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's all I have to say about it, I guess.
Yeah, you know, and you kind of hinted at something there that, like, for me, of course, as soon as I read the tweet, I'm like, this is just ridiculous, you know, because, and I guess I'll say more about that in a second here. But the thing that I really like to do whenever I come across something like that is be like, okay, what is it that this person was thinking that thinks that this absolutely makes sense? And it makes sense so much that I need to put it out into the ether and into a forum where I know I'm going to be judged by, well, let's see here. He's got almost 8,500 followers. It's not a ton, but that tweet's going to get a little bit of a
lot of reaction,
a little bit of push, because I mean, that's a lot of followers. I mean, it's not a billion followers, but it's a lot of followers. Well, there has to be something that he was thinking that made his brain think, yes, this makes perfect sense, and people are going to agree with me. And I'm like, okay, so how can we give this guy the benefit of the doubt? And the truth is, there's really only a couple of things that I can think of that like make that statement make any sort of sense at all. I mean, it's like, I get that. And I think so much about, and I think it comes through a lot more to me because I love indie games so much. And you see these indie developers making these games and pushing their products and like just hoping and praying that the thing that they've spent years developing gets some legs and actually makes money so that they continue to do what they want to do. Well, some of these larger developers, I think they have kind of forgotten their roots a little bit. To where it's like, and he's been a part of some pretty large games. Was it Savage Planet, Far Cry 4, Assassin's Creed 3, Spore, which is a really popular game. At least it has been for years. But he's kind of forgotten, I think, where he's come from a little bit in that. Making a statement like that just means you're totally tone deaf to the people who have made you who you are, you know, because making games is great, but those games can't be great if people aren't buying them, you know?
Yeah.
And for him to say something like that, you know, I kind of get where he's coming from, but at the same time, even though I may understand where he's coming from, I don't think any of it makes any kind of sense at all. Because think about it like this. I mean, I watch a lot of YouTube as well. A lot of people review games and review products and stuff online. And there's so many times that people will say, you know, yeah, we were provided a review copy of this so we could put our thoughts out onto the internet of, you know, how this game is. And then they go on into the review. That's literally the same thing where they're begging for people to give their thoughts and opinions on something so people can make a decision of whether they want to buy that or not. And for him to just say all of that is just worthless just because what we made is so much more important. I think, you know, again, has just totally forgotten where he's come from and forgotten who got him to where he is.
And I kind of feel like that's the equivalent of like the local band who like spends 6 years in the garage making an EP and then they drop it off to the radio station and they're like, it would be really cool if you could play this, man. And then like one time on a Friday night, the radio like does them a solid and spins the whole album, right? And then like the next morning they wake up and be like, yeah, man, so can we get like 10% of the cut from that airing you did last night, man? You know, like it's kind of how I look at it. Like when you're talking about like, you know, some of these smaller indie games rely on streamers to push them out so they know that they even exist.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah. AK Quietus here in the chat, I think, made a good comment. He says, in a way, streamers have sort of become freelance gaming journalists. I think that's definitely true. I mean, we're not journalists in the traditional sense, but really are kind of chronicling these releases as they come out and exposing them to the masses, because yeah, you can get online and you can search for all these games and stuff like that, but so many times you're just not going to do that. You're not going to take the effort to do that or even think to do that necessarily. But if an entertaining personality that you're familiar with says, hey, let's play this for a couple hours and I'm going to comment over it as we go, you're going to be a lot more likely to expose yourself to that content and, you know, possibly, like so many have said in the chat, take that plunge to purchase that particular item.
Agreed. I mean, I think that that alone, like just that alone, the fact that, you know, a majority of the people in the chat have bought games specifically from watching somebody else play them already debunks that whole thing for me, in my opinion. Not to sound like a closed-minded dude, because I'm on the other side of it on the streaming side, but I mean, I think just in any perspective, how do you really argue it and be like, this is right, I get it, they totally should do that, you know?
Yeah. This is right. Yeah. I'm wondering, and of course, like I said before, he's not tweeted again since. So how is he feeling now?
The internet roasted him for real.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I did not think to bring all these other ones up, but like if you do some digging, this guy just despises streamers. He hates streamers, and it makes, yeah, again, it makes no sense. And it's, I'm not trying to say that, you know, we're anything important or special necessarily, but we do a lot to help those people sell video games, you know,
for sure.
But we love them, and we love games, and we love playing them with our families, our friends, our viewers, who have become our families and friends in a lot of ways, you know. So if we didn't have that capability, there would be a lot less to share. So yeah, pat yourself on the back, Adam. You've sold some product for somebody, I'm sure.
Oh man, it's a warm fuzzy feeling. I don't know if it's the raspberry peanut butter or if it's that, but it's one of the two for sure.
And there's not raspberry flavor in enough stuff. There needs to be more raspberry flavoring in the world, I think. It's just
there's only one man who would dare give me the raspberry. Lodestar.
I don't know where that's from. What is that?
Spaceballs, man.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
It's like the radar is about to be jammed.
I'm kind of ashamed of myself right now for not remembering that.
Oh well, we're on the couch hanging out drinking beers. That's the point, right?
Yeah, there we go. Anyone else enjoying a beverage? Let us know what you have tonight. Like I said, this is all about all of us coming together and just chilling out and having a good time, maxing, relaxing, all cool. So, yeah, get yourself something. So, I have a complaint.
Uh-oh.
Black Friday.
Oh,
when is enough? This conversation would have had a lot more punch if it would have happened a few weeks ago when we first started talking about all this. But now we're actually kind of getting close to Black Friday. But this is the deal. Do retailers think that we are so stupid that we're not going to understand if things are on sale if they don't say that it's Black Friday? It's a Black Friday in January. Black Friday on Memorial Day. Come on down to Jim Richards Auto. Black freaking Friday. And it's like, if they don't call it, they think if they don't call it Black Friday, we won't know that stuff is cheap. The public is so stupid. They need to call it Black Friday or they won't understand. It's like, come down here and buy our Instant Pots, please. Oh my gosh. How long is this going to go on? And no joke. Okay. And like I said, this is ill-timed because we're close to Black Friday right now. But I'm going to issue this challenge to you guys after Black Friday and in the preceding months after that. Every time you see a Black Friday sale mentioned that's not Black Friday, comment in one of these podcasts and you will be entered in a drawing to win something. I would love to see your submissions on that because I'm sick of Black Friday. Why does it have to be Black Friday? Adam, have you noticed this?
Oh, now that you say it, I can't stop laughing because it's so true. And that coupled with I love your announcer impersonation as well. It's Oh, it was the come on down to Black Friday in July. Oh,
Yeah, they've been talking about, and I think it's more
So
apparent. And thank
true.
you, Willie Will, for the 100 stars. Appreciate that, buddy. Yeah, Green Slade. Yeah, I noticed that shirt earlier. I was like, that's pretty freaking cool, man. I need to get one of those shirts. Hey, what's up, Rowan? How you doing, girlfriend? This Black Friday is going to be killer pun gratuitously intended COVID. Yo, oh my gosh. No, and that's part of Keith. What you just said is kind of part of what prompted this to pop up into my head again. Is that they've been pumping Black Friday for weeks and weeks, but the Black Friday is not Black Friday anymore. It's like weeks of Black Friday. It's like, please buy our crap. The economy's in the toilet. We need your money.
anything helps.
It's like they're like the guy on the corner, like jingling around the cup with change in it. If we don't call it Black Friday. Oh,
No one will ever know it's on sale.
right? Yeah. No.
Oh,
one's
that
ever
is
gonna know.
fantastic. I love that bit. I'm so glad you didn't spoil that one for me. Boy, that was funny.
You know, in planning this, this is what's so funny is if you guys could be a part of these conversations, you would die. But like, the whole thing is like Adam and I will start talking about something, and there's always a point where I'm like, okay, stop talking about that. We need to save this for the show. We need to give it gets we'll start like, this is good material. We don't need to talk about it now. We need it to be fresh.
It's so true, though.
No, none of this is rehearsed. If anything, we do all we can to not rehearse it.
So how was your day? Oh, it's pretty good. Hey, stop it right there.
Shut up. We need to save this for the show.
Save it for the show.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude.
I wish I could remember what you were talking about right before we went live tonight. You're like, I actually got a funny story about that. You're like, I'll just save it for the.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up. This is another gripe. This is we need to have a section of the show just for Steve gripes, because I have another one planned actually here. But like
Hashtag Steve Gripes.
Yeah, Steve gripes. Yeah, hashtag BOC Pod. Hashtag Steve gripes. My other gripe was this: is I have. Discord, gummit, Adam, what is it called again? Discord Nitro, because it gives you certain benefits and stuff like that anyway. So I have Discord Nitro. Well, they will give you little bonuses for having that subscription. Well, one of the bonuses that it gave me was, hey, you get 3 months of Xbox Live or whatever, you know, the premium, whatever it is. So like, you get 3 months for free. I was like, oh, sweet. I'll take that. I mean, I already have the subscription, but it's like, I'll take 3 months off of that. There was something else that I had gotten at one point where it was like 6 months of free Netflix. Well, I already have a Netflix account, but it just knocked 6 months of cost off of it, which was pretty freaking cool.
Right.
Well, hey, what's up, Jared? How you doing, buddy? So I get the discount code, and then it's like, oh, we'll click this link to go to the Microsoft redemption page. And of course, every time you go to their page, it's like, log in, do this. Oh, I'm sorry, there was a problem. I hate Microsoft. So anyways, I log into my account. I hate Microsoft. I paste the discount code into the blank, and I click the thing, and it's like, oh, I'm sorry, you need to do this on your Xbox. And even though, and I go back to Discord, and it says, go to this Microsoft redemption page to redeem this thing. And then, so I'm like, well, I read it right. Well, okay. So I turn on my Xbox, and then I've never redeemed a code on Xbox before. So I go to the store, because that's how you do it on PlayStation. I've redeemed PlayStation codes before. I go to the store, and at the bottom left, there's a section called Redeem. You click on Redeem, and then it has a blank where you put in the code. I'm like, oh, sweet. This wasn't hard at all. So I go in there to start typing in the code. It's like 28 digits long. And all you have to do is the little thing on your controller, you know? So I'm like, click, 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 click. I felt like the old days when you were text messaging using T9. Remember T9 text messaging?
Yeah.
Where like you'd have to click the buttons like 57 times to type out a 5-letter word.
For sure.
So I go in there and I'm click, 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 click. I click, 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 click. 28 characters later, I've got the discount code put in there. And I click submit, and it's like, oh, sorry, you probably need to refer to these instructions in the email that we sent you. So then I go to
Oh
the
my
email
God.
and I pull up the email message, and then in the email it's like, hey, click this thing, whatever. And then I click the thing on the email now. Now where I'm at like my third or fourth place by this point that I've tried to redeem this code now. And it takes me to this
It
page.
has become not worth it 3 places ago.
I know, and I'm just like, this isn't worth 3 months. This has been 30 minutes of my life. So I
Yeah.
click the thing, I get to the page, and what does it say? Not eligible for current subscribers. Ba, 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 ba. The worst.
That's a fart noise. That's a big fart noise. Right
Screw you,
there.
Microsoft.
Well, no wonder you couldn't redeem it.
Yeah. Not
Nick
good
Matthews
stuff.
has the 2 most handsome men he's ever known on the same screen.
Oh,
Nick,
yeah,
you always
Nick.
know just what to say.
Oh man. So that was my Microsoft story. Hopefully that was worth it. That was not planned, but Adam brought it up, so we went ahead and talked about it anyway. So
Yeah, dude, that's a terrible story.
isn't
Not
it? And why couldn't they have just told me in the first thing? It's like, oh, just so you know, not eligible for current subscribers, or in Discord where it gave me the code, said, oh, but this is only for new accounts. Who's
Right.
gonna get that code who doesn't already have an Xbox account anyways? It's Discord. It's made for gamers.
Right.
I don't know,
That's a
man.
valid point.
So
Dan, I'm sorry he brought it up, everybody. Sorry, Adam.
she's like,
I'm so
Adam, sorry he brought it up now.
Jerry says that you have a lot of gripes.
Oh
in the
man.
chat.
Yeah, well, she's not wrong though. So that's what I thought. Is I'm like, well, I'll bring my gripes up in the podcast here, and then I've got them off my chest, and I don't have to talk about them to annoy her with them.
Now you got me thinking, like, all right, so the next time I'm gonna have to have 2
thanks.
things that have pissed me off lately, and save it all for the podcast.
Yeah, there you
So-
go.
So listen to this, guys. I went to a Taco Bell drive-thru and there was no Mexican pizza.
No Mexican pizza. Oh my gosh, Adam, did you plan that, dude? Because that is one of my
No.
topics here.
No, I did not plan.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. So hey, what's up?
What I have to do now is find a podcast where I can put my
Is this another one of Steve's gripes?
I said no. I don't. We don't want your gripes because they're all going to be about me.
It's a win-win.
Jared, I'm drinking Mother's Brewery. Jared may have. Oh no, you're not around here, Jared. Sorry. The Great Cobra Scare of '53. Mother's Brewery. It's a local brewery, and this is one of my favorite beers in the world. That's what I'm enjoying here. What's up, Darian? How you doing, buddy? Let me see.
And I've got peanut butter and raspberry jelly beer brewed from Urban Artifact here in the great armpit state of Ohio.
The great armpit state of Ohio. Have you ever watched the show AP Bio?
I have not.
It was on NBC, and now it's only on their online app called, what is it, Peacock. But the whole thing is the guy's a failed college professor, and now he's teaching AP Bio in Toledo. And all he does is crap on Toledo through the entire show. And it's like, I've never known anyone from Toledo that doesn't talk constant crap about Toledo.
I was gonna say I'd imagine he'd have plenty of material.
Yeah. I've been to Toledo.
We can do this for 6 seasons easy.
Yeah, I've been to Toledo. It's all justified.
You're right.
Wisconsin has the best beers, says Jared. PBJ beer sounds god awful. LOL.
Oh, what? Sadness, Jared. Sadness. It's actually really good. Like I said, it's more raspberry, but than peanut butter. But if you like fruit beer, it's good.
Nick's drinking PBR Tall Boys. Nick, you hipster.
Have you ever had the PBR hard coffees?
No,
Oh my God, they're delicious.
really.
But I mean, like, what a horrible idea, though. Like, oh man, I just can't wake up in the morning unless I have my PBR hard coffee on the way to work.
Right, exactly.
You know, like, I gotta get loosened up with this PBR before I go clock in for the day.
You know, that reminds me. I've never understood. You know, it's one of the traditional. I mean, not that this is the only gift, but a flask is a traditional gift for groomsmen or whatever in a wedding. It's like,
I see where this is going.
You think I need to have alcohol immediate access to alcohol at all times? Is that what you're telling me here?
Yeah. You know when you're standing in line at the BMV, here you go, man. Take a shot.
Drunk at the DMV again. Hashtag
Have one on
BOC pod.
me. Oh, A-Dog.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I never really looked at it like that, but everybody does give people flasks, and it's just like, here you go, man, just in case you need a couple shots because you can't deal with reality at this moment. Thank you for accepting my inability to have coping skills. You're welcome. Thanks for coming to my wedding.
Yeah, nothing says I'm dissatisfied with my life choices like drinking a PBR coffee in the morning. So, and,
Oh man, but the PBR coffee in and of itself is delicious.
yeah,
It doesn't taste like beer at all. It's like one of those like little cold iced coffee drinks that you'd get in the morning on your way to work. Only this has booze in it.
there you go.
So brilliant invention, but horrible, horrible time to have it, I suppose.
Yeah, right. Marking this thing with breakfast.
Yeah, seriously, it's part of a balanced breakfast.
Thank you for the 200 stars, Ryan. I appreciate it, man. Look up Sprecher's Irish Stout, and you'll never want fruit juice beer again. Oh, that's interesting. The only thing I know about Sprecher's is that they have like a root beer. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce that, Sprecher's, but it's a really good root beer.
I feel like Jared is talking down to my fruit juice beer by dubbing it fruit juice beer.
Fruit juice beer. Do you drink it out of a sippy cup, Adam?
You drink a man's beer, you won't need that apple juice again. What are you trying to say, Jared?
Hey,
I get
thanks.
it, okay? I
I
like to drink it while I watch Downton Abbey. Is that what you want to hear?
I mix vodka with apple juice and I call it dad juice. I call it that because it's like when you're a parent of small children, there's always apple juice in the house. So it's like, oh, you got some apple juice, you got yourself a nice little mixture, have some dad juice.
Have some dad juice. Man, I wish we had something to mix with this vodka. You look around, pickle juice, no. Let's see, what else? Olives, no. All right, apple juice.
Yeah.
Milk, definitely no.
It only works if you drink it out of a Paw Patrol sippy cup, though. Otherwise, it can be toxic, actually. So
That's good to know. That is good. That is good to know.
Oh my gosh. So okay, I've been talking for a while here, Adam. You got a topic here?
Well, we can move into the fun headline portion of the
Ooh,
podcast.
let's do it.
So, this is something that we're trying out, as well as the podcast in its entirety. But I decided to scour the internet, and by that I mean 3 websites to come up
Above and beyond, Adam. Above and beyond.
That's that's the work ethic that's brought me to where I am at today, Steve. I came up with 5 funny headlines, and I either omitted some of the headlines or I omitted some, either like a fill in the blank or whatever. You'll see how it goes. And then I've got links to the actual websites with the articles, just because I thought they were funny. And if they're not, I'm sorry. I blame the fruit juice beer, Jared.
Fruit juice.
All right, so we're gonna start out, Steve, with the one that I told you was kind of crappy. In hindsight, after looking them all over and talking about what we wanted to do with the segment, I was like, all right, well, there's one that's gonna be not the best. So we're just gonna.
This is a throwaway. Start off strong.
Start off strong for sure. All right, so 2 whale watchers on kayaks in California were almost capsized and swallowed by what? Is it A, orca, B, breaching humpback whale, C, mob of angry seals, or D, great white shark?
Ooh.
Let me find this. There we get the link.
I'm gonna go humpback whale just because it has hump in the title.
Just because it has the word hump in the title. Well, I mean, we can't argue with that kind of logic. You would be correct, sir.
Oh, I need to add the air horn here.
All right, so I just sent you the link there. I got it pulled up as well. So it says the video is wild. The video is probably the best part about it, but it's literally like these poor people in these kayaks, and this big ass whale just comes out of nowhere. And imagine being on a whale watching tour and having that happen to you.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so my spin-off of that is not that I think that you have a story about anything involving large aquatic beasts, but have you ever had a run-in with any kind of wild animal or incident that has made you scared and or nervous?
Oh my gosh. This is going to sound ridiculous. When I was a kid, one time we went to the zoo and they had this pond, or I guess it had to be a pond because it wasn't like a lake or anything. They had a pond in the zoo, and there's geese all around the pond, and there's this goose like staring me down, and so I'm just kind of staring back at this goose, and I slowly start walking up to him, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, first of all, I don't know that I'd ever like seen at least that kind of goose. You see the kind that fly up in the air, all that, but like this is like a white goose, exactly like the Untitled Goose Game type of goose, right? He's a white goose, yellow beak. I'd never seen a goose like that before, and especially not one up that close. And I'm walking up closer to him, and I'm just kind of looking at his body and his beak, and I'm just thinking, I want to touch that beak, and I want to see what that beak feels like because it looks so interesting.
I want to touch that beak.
Exactly. That's what little Steve said, was I want to touch that beak. And
that's amazing.
I reach out to touch it, and the goose bites my finger. And geese have like these little like teeth thing inside of their beak. It was an awful experience.
I bet that hurt really bad. Actually.
It really did hurt, and it scared the crap out of me.
And from what I understand, man, geese can be pretty mean creatures.
I've heard that as well, and it's funny because now that I've played Untitled Goose Game, it's like and I know it's like this video game is very true to life. Geese are like that, 100%.
Ornery little bastards.
So yeah, geese. That's my scary encounter with nature, is with a goose as a child. I was very small.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a grown man, and I would not want to be bit on the finger by a goose. I mean, I get that.
And it was crazy how fast it happened too. Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm having like Nom flashbacks.
You see the helicopter in the background and the bombs are That's the MASH theme for all you youngins in this chat.
Man, I hate MASH. I get that's probably an unpopular opinion. I can't stand MASH.
You hate MASH?
I hate MASH, yeah.
Oh my God.
But
save it for the podcast. Save it for the podcast.
Where do you save it for the podcast? I think it's more of a Pavlovian. Hey, see you later, Chris. I think it's more of a Pavlovian response though, because like as a kid, when the MASH theme came on, I knew it was time for bed. Because MASH came on at like 10 o'clock or something or whatever, whenever it was, and I just remember like I hear the MASH theme, and then it was like, oh, the day's over. I got to go to bed now.
So you just associated that with having to go to bed early, and
I don't like the show either, though. So.
Negative disassociation. I don't like the show either.
It's not funny. I'm sorry.
Oh man, that's a hot take, Steve. That's a hot take.
Well, you know.
All right. So I guess for me, if I had to come up with a story like that, there was one time growing up, we had this really big, probably 80-pound German Shepherd English Sheepdog mix, and it sounds funny, but in all seriousness, like this dog was just nutso. It would just have these weird things of aggression with it when it came to other animals, which was super weird. But anyway, in a smart move, I'm probably 10 years old, and I'm walking the dog down the road. We live out in the country at this time. And one of our neighbors that lived, I don't know, probably a mile down the road, had this big golden retriever. And it would constantly, they didn't have dogs on leashes out there or whatever. So one time I'm walking this dog out, this golden retriever sees us and just comes darting towards us, barking with the quickness. And so then our dog is like, started to get super aggressive and backed up, growling and stuff too. And I'm like 10 years old. There's no one around me, and I've got these two gigantic dogs, and I thought for sure they were gonna like just start going ham at each other, and I'd have no idea how to break it up or anything like that. But they stopped right in front of each other. They like had it out, kind of growling at each other for like 5 minutes or something. I mean, I don't know, maybe it wasn't 5 minutes because that's an eternity when a stressful situation is happening, but it seemed like a long time. And then the other dog eventually like went off. But I remember like just shaking in terror because I
Wow.
was like probably 3 feet away from these two big ass dogs going at it or whatever. So if I had to come up with a scary animal story, I guess that's probably what I would.
Oh, I definitely get where you're coming from there. Sheesh, I'd feel the same way.
All right, so moving on. Number 2. Bunny the dog, the famous TikTok dog, has inspired scientists to do research on communication because of her ability to speak through what? A. Sign language. B. Soundboards. C. Nonverbal commands such as pointing. Or D. Mental telepathy.
Ooh. I've been rewatching the show Fringe recently, which I was a huge fan of and still am. So I'm going to go with telepathy.
It is not mental telepathy.
Uh,
It is soundboards.
That's crazy.
So
Truthfully, I wanted to say soundboards, but I was like telepathy. I've been watching Fringe, so I've got to say telepathy.
So your dogs have been sending you mental messages through the. It's time to feed me, Steve.
And I've never watched TikTok. I don't.
I haven't either. I just know it from like this article and like seeing the occasional video on the news feed or whatever. But I've never even. I don't have the app. I've never tried to use it or how it works.
I feel like I'm too old for that. I think that's one of those things where like you reach a certain age, the app should just like have you click one of those things where you have to verify whatever your age is, and the app be like, you know what, this isn't good for you. Why don't you enjoy this Sudoku app instead or something?
This Sudoku app.
Yeah. Here's another version of Tetris to play or something. You know what? You're not young enough to do this. So
No one's gonna watch this. So the basis of this is that this dog, I don't know if you have the video pulled up on the thing, or the page pulled up, but it's like obviously the soundboard is full of buttons and it has all these automated ones. And so the first video, the dog asked for more scritches, which I thought was hilarious.
more what?
It's like more scritches. I think it's like their terms of saying like more like head scratches.
Oh, here
or
we go.
whatever.
Here, let me pause the video or the music and let's see if we can get the video going here.
More switches now? Okay.
Wow, that's crazy. I don't see a way to adjust the audio on it, but yeah, that like they had the little words pop up on the screen, but that's crazy. The dog actually did it.
Yeah, and then scroll down to the second video, and like his owner's like trying to talk to him, and like the dog basically says like, "Can you be quiet? You're hurting my ears."
Oh.
And I was just, I'll stop talking.
Settle sound, ouch. Like how we've got a perfect view straight up that dog's beehole.
For sure.
Hurting my ears.
But like when I was reading that, I was like, I wonder like if dogs could talk, I wonder if they would ever be like, man, seriously, dude, could you calm down? Like, you're really hurting my ears, or like, damn, yeah, like we get it, man. Like I'm a good boy. Yes, I know. I try to be a good boy every day. Stop telling me that.
Right.
But it actually, I mean, it is really cool. I mean, just the science behind it that, you could train a dog to communicate with you, through, these buttons on the ground or whatnot. I thought that was like mind blowing.
Yeah, that's like chimps using sign language type of stuff. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Animals are smarter, man, than we give them credit for.
For real. That's crazy.
All right. Number 3. Okay, this one's going to be obvious, but I couldn't help myself when I came down to coming up with the answers. The first blank was recently found in Spokane, Washington, which local authorities decided to exterminate immediately. Is it A, murder hornet nest, B, group of vanilla WoW players emerging from their basements, C, copy of Nickelback, the game, or D, the first Christmas tree decoration in a town square?
WoW players.
WoW players. No, it is murder hornet.
Yeah, I figured it had to be murder hornets. Yeah, I remember reading about that. Of course, good lord, how long ago was murder hornets? Time has no meaning anymore, people. I'm sure you know that.
That's kind of why I tagged the article, because I was like, man, I haven't heard him talk about murder hornets in about 4 months, and I was like, wow, no one suddenly cares about that. I remember that was like, oh
Yeah,
man,
we were
these murder
freaking out about
hornets
it for like a day or two.
yeah, they're on their way. They're coming.
Wow.
You know, and it's just funny how like just huge media topics and stuff like that can just come and go away. So if you ever wonder like, man, I wonder if this person still remembers this like thing that I thought was stupid, like I can assure you they don't. You know, like just the way that the nature of people forgetting stuff, like big things like this, you know. No one cares about murder hornets anymore. I actually watched a special, a National Geographic thing on these guys. And I mean, they're dangerous to humans, yes, but like the big deal is that they can destroy honeybees, right? So the video that I watched was like 4 of these murder hornets, like individual 4, and they went into this hive of like 650 honeybees, and they like one of them died, and the other 3 killed all 650 honeybees.
Whoa!
It was ridiculous.
That is crazy. Yeah, I remember when the murder hornet thing was still fresh news. But I watched a video of a guy. He had caught a murder hornet with these little pincer things. But anyways, he did that, and then he intentionally had it sting his arm. And first of all,
I've seen that video.
The stinger's like this freaking long.
Yeah.
And but anyways, and then he describes the feeling as it's happening. I'm like, I can't. That's why. Let's get off of here. I can't. I was like, I just can't watch this. This is too much for me.
Yeah, man, those things are no joke. I've read articles where they're like referenced to as like the stinger feels like a hot nail just getting run through your skin. Like that does not sound pleasant, or let alone something that I would want to do voluntarily, you know.
Coach Dave in the chat, I've got dogs with bees in their mouths, so when they bark, they shoot bees for December. Yeah. Yeah, we need something new to panic about. Yeah, like I said, murder hornets we panicked about months ago.
When they bark, they shoot bees.
Yeah, you know, the bee barking dogs. You know, so
Bee barking dogs.
Yeah, they're gonna have
the sharks with laser beams on their heads will be here.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So true.
This year just won't give up.
But yeah, so I feel like that was like the big thing. I mean, I think in people's minds, they pictured like these gigantic swarms of killer hornets, like just going after humans, like in waves. You know what I mean? Like, when I think in reality, I think the reason that through like science was concerned was the fact that they would come in and just like wipe out a large part of the bee population.
Yeah. And what I know already, there's already several concerns about honeybees and their livelihoods and stuff already. So I can imagine, you know, some new predator coming in, roughing them up is going to be less than ideal anyway. So
I mean, they've got it bad right now.
the honeybees are like, 2020, man. What can you do?
What can you do?
The honeybees are like, man, COVID,
like
man.
Smoking a cigarette on an old couch in the hive, you know. Man,
I'm getting too old for this.
Too old for this. So yeah, I thought that I was trying to. So my thing to you was going to be, was there any other bringing the stuff like this up? Was there any other kind of big event that was supposed to go down that you can remember that never happened? Mine was obviously, well, not obviously because you don't know. My immediate one is Y2K.
Oh yeah.
But like some big media story that was big that never. And do you have one off the top of your head?
The first thing that popped to my mind was what was it? Was it the Mayan calendar or the Aztec calendar or whatever it was?
Yeah, that's a good one.
What was it? 2012 or something? Like, so the world was supposed to end.
2012. Yeah,
And it was so funny because like it was either like right before that or right after that, they discovered that there was actually a Mayan calendar that showed time going on, eternally or consistently or something after that. And they're like, "Oop, whoopsie, our bad."
Whoops. Yeah, man. That was, and then like about going back to like the Y2K, like remember how they talked about like the planes were gonna fall out of the sky and
Oh man,
like the trains were gonna derail and all this stuff, and it's like, man, I remember. I mean, I was probably like I think 15 at the time or something. Well, I mean, I can't do math right now, but it's raspberry beer. But
it's 8% ABV. So come on.
It sounded believable though at the time, because
Right.
you'd be like, "Oh my god, like our planes were like, now that you are older and take a rational look at it, and you're like, there's no way in hell all these flight navigators and people that behind all this would let a computer error like that cause all of the airplanes to go down." Like,
Right.
And then no one ever took into account that we're behind the rest of the world.
Right, exactly.
It was 11:59 here. It's already been.
Yeah. Australia's in the future already. No, I remember that though, because on that night, okay, rewind a little bit, because that was pre my wife and I getting married. So was it the year 2000? I was 20 years old, so I was born in 1980. So we were together in the city that she lived in at the time, and I remember like watching as time went by in other places around the world, it was becoming the year 2000 and nothing was happening, and kind of watching it with an anxious sort of feeling in my gut or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like when it turned midnight where we were, like, of course obviously nothing happened, but I remember like walking outside on the patio and kind of looking around and seeing like, are guns going off now? Is like the Thunderdome getting ready? Or
Is it safe?
and like nothing happened. And then like we were at a New Year's Eve party at a friend's house, and then we left there, and I stopped at a gas station on the way home, and everyone was like just going about their day. And I remember it felt so weird though. I'm like, something's gonna happen, I know it, and nothing happened.
Is the Black Friday sale still going on?
Don't even go there. Of course it is. Black Friday Y2K, come on down, save big.
Black Friday Y2K. It's so funny to me, man. So
Daniel
Andrew
Oldenkamp,
says-
I'm gonna do Daniel's question here real quick, just because I
Oh,
want to
yeah.
encourage people to continue to use our hashtag here.
Yeah.
But he asked, what console has your best memories? I've talked about mine on here before. Adam, what about you? What console has your best memories?
Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo. Any particular
Yeah.
titles?
Final Fantasy VI, Lufia and the Fortress of Doom, Chrono Trigger, Breath of Fire 2, Super Mario World. I mean, that's a given.
A lot of RPGs in there.
Yeah, I was pretty much just an RPG only guy growing up as a kid. So yeah, if I had to pick some platformers, I got a Super Metroid, I'd say. Donkey Kong Country, even though I suck at it.
Donkey Kong Country is not easy. For some reason in my mind, that game was super easy, and then I streamed it a while back, and I'm like, good lord, this game is not simple. I mean, it's not incredibly difficult, but it's not easy either, though. So
No, and they only get harder from how I feel. Like,
oh right, yeah, totally, yeah.
I
As
think
you're
2
talking
is
about-
definitely harder than 3.
YouTube just crashed, really? Oh, that's why our music wasn't working. Cause okay, folks in the chat here, remember in the beginning of the podcast I was talking about how like all of a sudden our background music stopped working? I was streaming it
Yeah.
off of YouTube Music. Well, I guess
That-
YouTube crashed. Is it still down? Justin, good, but it is still. Titus says it is still down. That's crazy. Did you know? This is off topic, but this was years ago when this happened. But Google was down for like 30 seconds or something ridiculous like that, and I read like it cost them billions of dollars for being down for like less than a minute. I want to say it was. Now this was years ago, so like obviously the story's going really, really well, but but no, it was crazy how much money they lost because of that downtime. So anyhow, so yeah, it's still down. That is kind of crazy. Yeah, YouTube is down, school website is down, Cricket Wireless is down. Holy crap! It's
Y2K, Steve. It's Y2K.
It's Russian hackers. Daniel Oldenkamp, Y2K20.
That's what they meant. They Mayan calendared it.
That's right. Yeah. The person who discovered Y2K, they were dyslexic and they didn't understand that it was supposed to be.
We're cracking the Da Vinci Code right now. Guys, get Nicolas Cage, get The Rock on the line. We need a movie. Stat.
Right.
Y2K20.
John Mellencamp for president 2024. Oh my gosh. Wow. ATH. At this point, he may be better than the candidates we've had recently, but we're not going to talk about that because we're not going to talk about politics on this show. So before I tell which console had my most fondest memories, I am going to open my next beer. This is another Mother's Brewery beer. This one is called Winter Grind. It's a coffee stout, which it was hard for me not to talk about this when you mentioned those
man beers.
Yeah, what is that beer? PBR coffee drinks. But yeah, anyways, this is a Winter Grind. It's a coffee stout. They only release it in the fall. I look forward to this every year, and it's so freaking good. But I mean, you combine coffee with alcohol. How could it possibly get any better? You know, it's two great combos. I'm not going to drink it before work or anything, but I don't have a job right now, so screw all of them. So anyways, yeah, Winter Grind from Mother's Brewery. It's a damn good beer from the Queen City.
What mainstream beer would you compare it to?
I'm sorry, what was that?
What mainstream coffee beer would you compare it to? Like a bigger label, or can you?
I don't know that I can. I haven't drank a whole lot of coffee beers before, and the ones that I've had are not like this one is a stout, so I kind of think of stouts as being more old man beers. You know, all the kids, they want IPAs and stuff like that, but so yeah, I've never had another coffee stout, and because of that, I've never really tasted anything that tastes that close to it. But man, it's good. I'll tell you what. Willie Will with 100 stars. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it, dude. Much love.
The legend.
Coffee plus beer equals no go for me, says Jeremy Stice. Well, that's all right. I'll have yours, Jeremy. So. ATH, I ordered a bunch of Mother stuff coming in. My store will call me when it gets here. Oh, that's awesome, dude. You're going to need to report back on how you feel about that, whether you like it and stuff. So so going back to Daniel's question.
Yes.
Console with the fondest memories. Biggest one for me is NES, which I think is obvious. You know, if you watch the page at all, you know NES is my jam. But the whole thing comes down to when I was a kid, my grandparents, they bought NESs for all 3 sets of grandkids. There were 3 sets of grandkids, and they bought one for each family, which is insane because they were not wealthy people. They I don't know how they, honestly, I don't know how or why they even did it to this day. How did they have that much money to do that? I mean, not that it's like millions of dollars or anything, but still, I mean, they're not wealthy people, but they got one for each of us, and like I said, or why again, I still don't know what really brought that about in them, but they did it, and good Lord, I don't say this with a single ounce of hyperbole. It 100% changed my life. NES will forever be the most nostalgic console for me, and the thing I love about it is and it's funny because I can nerd out over it even more now as I'm older, but like the history behind the console and what it did for console gaming in America or video gaming in general, not just in America, but worldwide as well. And the massive advancements to gaming that took place because of Nintendo and because of what Nintendo did and because of the balls they had to do it. This is a whole nother topic of conversation, so I'm not going to go too deep into it, but Nintendo had some brass cojones back in the day. Yeah, sorry, go ahead with Adam.
Save it for the podcast, Steve.
Right, save it for the podcast. Shut up, save it for the podcast.
I'm just kidding.
No.
No, that's awesome. No.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. I guess to me, if I had to pick Super Nintendo over Nintendo, I think as you were talking about graphical leaps, just going from playing regular Nintendo to Super Mario World, like seeing that commercial on TV to me was like mind blowing. Like I never thought Mario could look like that, you know.
Yeah.
And to this day, I still feel like the technology advancement from Nintendo to Super Nintendo was the biggest margin of any of the consoles that have come in after it.
It was a huge leap, wasn't it?
Really. I mean, look at all the upgrades to everything. I mean, look at the original Metroid and Super Metroid. I mean, it's night and day. I mean, how the game is. I mean, Super Metroid just looks beautiful in comparison to Nintendo, but Nintendo looked beautiful in comparison to Atari.
Right.
You know, if you plugged a PS4 and a PS5 in together right now, would there be a graphical difference? Sure. Would it be Nintendo, Super Nintendo different? Absolutely not. You know, and if it was, imagine what that would be like. Like, talk about a holy crap moment. You know, take that huge technological leap and modify that into what gaming is now, especially with like VR and all that kind of stuff put in. Holy crap, man! It would be like Ready Player One.
Right.
real.
Yeah. No, it's insane. Yeah, the jump that was, and I remember. Me and my brother, we saved to get that Super Nintendo, and my parents. And it's funny because you go back on YouTube and stuff, and you can watch videos from the news in that time. Parents were pissed. They did not like the fact that it's like, what? There's another Nintendo already. We just
Right.
bought this one.
Yeah.
You know, there's no backwards compatibility here. You know, we just got this thing. We just bought all these games, and now this new thing's coming out. Well, me and my brother had to have it, so we saved up our money and got it. And I'll never forget. And it's so funny that now, like, and again, this sounds hyperbolic, but no, I'm being 100% genuine. To this day, when you hear that little sound, when you turn on Super Mario World and you hear it does that little pa-ting, that little coin drop sound.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I get chills every time I hear it. It's like that sound brings me back to childhood 100%. But yeah, Super Nintendo, obviously huge, but, yeah, great console. Like you said, a huge leap technologically and such. But so many great memories playing. F-Zero, I remember, was a big one that I played with my cousins a lot and stuff. But Super Mario World. Oh, UN Squadron was another one we played with them a lot. But Super Mario World, obviously huge. Final Fantasy 2, which I will not refer to it by any other number. Final Fantasy 2. But no, I mean, and sleepovers, playing Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter 2. Man, just the best. In the
Man,
world.
Street Fighter 2. Oh man, I had like a childhood friend growing up. I mean, we're still friends to this day, but like back then, like when we were kids, we were like inseparable.
Yeah.
So we used to play video games all the time. And Street Fighter 2, he was the North and South buddy that I had. Street Fighter 2 was huge. Toe Jam and Earl was huge. I know that's not in Super Nintendo, but but yes, man, Street Fighter, boy, what a great game. Still holds up to this day as a good, solid head-to-head fighter too.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Street Fighter 2. Possibly the origin of my first video game crush, Chun-Li. Love me some Chun-Li. Who didn't love Chun-Li? She was a girl and she kicked butt and she was cute. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was good stuff. But yeah, so to Daniel's question, yeah, NES is obviously my most nostalgic console. But then one other one that is holding up, right up there in the top is the PS2. And the reason for that is because my brother and my best friend put their money together and bought one for myself and my wife as a wedding gift. So we started off our marriage with a PlayStation 2, and many a night was whiled away playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater, Red Faction, which was kind of it's like an FPS game, but we there's also like a PvP mode in it, which it was essentially like GoldenEye but on crack. It was a lot better. Yeah, so many. What was it? Crash Bandicoot was a big one for us as well. Katamari
Did you say it was
Damacy.
better than GoldenEye?
You know, I never owned a Nintendo 64, so I played GoldenEye. I played it with friends, but I never owned it, so I don't have
Man,
strong feelings for
those would be some
GoldenEye.
straight fighting words in some circles, Steve. I'm just saying. I mean, I have a passion for GoldenEye, but I mean, I know some people that are like, it is the original multiplayer FPS shooter. Doesn't get any better than that. I mean, and they're not wrong. Fun fact about that, you know, the people that developed that game, that was their first game that they made.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's like a license. It's like
You know what? That's
for
right. And the
PvP.
PvP mode was like added at the last minute, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like a licensed off of a movie, so it had all of the recipes to be the most like, you know, dog poop pile of a game, but ended up being one of the most iconic games, not only for the system, but I think for multiplayer games in general. Imagine having that on your resume. It says
Exactly.
here that you've made one game, and why do you want to be lead game developer here at this company? Yeah, the one game that I made was GoldenEye. When can you start?
Exactly.
You know, I mean, I feel like it would be a conversation like that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That game is certainly very important in the gaming landscape. Like I said, even though it's not one that I necessarily have huge ties to myself, game recognizes game. So,
For sure.
ATH streams and more. Thinking video games, what one caused you to get emotional? You never wanted to pick it up again. I don't mean rage quit due to being hard. So, like, what game made you emotional? He said. Now, this is a hard. I'll go first because this is a hard one for me to answer. In that, like, I don't play a lot of modern games and never really have. Like, even I mean, I played a lot on the PS2, but again, those games were not emotional games either, though. When I think of emotional stuff, I think more of like a lot of the story-driven stuff of modern days, like Last of Us, or I don't know. That's the only one that comes to mind right now. But like for me, so much of my life, even in like that era when we had the PS2, I still had a huge love for the NES and the SNES. So the game I would say made me emotional was Final Fantasy 2. In that, like, that was the first game where I think I ever actually felt emotion, and that, like, whoa, there are people that die in this game, and there are people who like leave and don't come back, or there's the whole fatherhood story between Tella and his daughter, and it's like, he dies, and realizing that like he lost all this time with her because he didn't approve of her relationship and stuff. So that was the first game I think that ever made me really feel something, but it wasn't that deeply to where just like, oh man, I can't play this again. So Adam?
Yeah, I don't know if any of the games that I feel like I've had like a real emotional attachment to, I don't know if I would say that I would never play them again. But you hit the nail on the head for me with The Last of Us. I mean, I feel like that's really a given for most of the people that have played the game. I feel like it's either a love it or you hate it kind of thing, just with the hype around it. But I do feel like it gets way more love than it does hate. When I finished that game, I felt like I had truly finished an experience that you don't really find in video games that much. That being said, on a younger take, Final Fantasy VI was big for me. Finally defeating Kefka after he's pretty much destroyed the world and everybody's pretty much lost a huge person in their life, whether it be a party member or a family member or a town or a species or whatever. I mean, they all coming together with the power of friendship, and whatever to defeat the big demigod boss at the end. I mean, it was powerful. I mean, it was big. I mean, when your other previous versions of epic games were Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the Nintendo and stuff like that, games that were very short, for this game to have such an epic scope of storytelling, and also like you touched on with 4, like loss and things of that nature, and then having it come through in this big climactic thing and everything's on the line, and when you're done you're like, wow, you know what, I did save the world, like this is awesome, like this, this is better, this world is better, um, and then also I guess with Chrono Trigger too, I don't know if it was the time travel element about it or what, but there was always this one specific scene in the game that I look forward to playing every time, and just because it does kind of pull at me on my heartstrings. It's when you actually, I think it's when you get the time machine itself, and you're in the future, and there's like that big purple little blob guy, like Inu, whatever his name is. He's one of those guys, and you talk to him, and it's like the voice of the professor that has made it, or whatever, Balthazar, I believe is his name. And he like input this message into this creature, and the creature says, now that I've done my message, I'll perform my last action. And then he goes over and he opens the door for you to get the time machine, and he's like, I'm powering down now. And it's just like, it was just one of the poignant moments where in this desolate future, this person implemented this creature. Its only sole purpose was to wait for you to come along, to talk to it, to enact the hope, to stop everything from happening the way it did. And I mean, I don't know, again, huge, when mind raveling kind of stuff. So I really liked that. I mean, I could probably bring up some more, but for the sake of rambling, when I talk about emotional investment in games, that's kind of the stuff that heart to me, I guess, immediately speaking.
That's
now
cool.
that we're running, or we're a ways in, I'm opening my second beer, so I feel like I'll just talk about it really quick. It is Rheingeist, local brewery here out of Cincinnati. One of the bigger ones. It was like one of these big reinvestment projects. Brewery just was like, came back and blew up in a huge way. If you come to Cincinnati, everybody knows Rheingeist. This is the Slangria, which is fruit juice beer.
Nice.
Jared, don't judge me.
Hey, I love sangria, so I would probably love that.
But this is ale with apple, pomegranate, blueberry, and lime. And it's got, some strong tartness to it. And a funny story about this type of beer that's gaming related is Rheingeist worked in collaboration with this arcade company down here in Cincinnati called 16-Bit. And it was a 16-Bit is this arcade. You go in, you can pay a flat rate, or no, the games are free. I'm sorry. You just have to pay for drinks there. So you have unlimited play on all these old retro arcade cabinets and whatnot, and you can drink beers while you're doing it, and really cool environment. So they collaborated with this place, and they made this beer called Press Start, it was like a pressed tart, which was like a tart beer. It had all these like really kind of sour notes to it. So I brought a 6-pack to it. Of it to my family's Thanksgiving, and I always share with my brother these like cool Cincinnati beers that I get from time to time. So I'm like, Sean, you got to try this beer. So he's like, what is it? True old man fashion,
Right?
And I'm like, it's this collaboration with this arcade. It's really good. Try it. So he like takes a huge drink of it, and he like chokes it down, and he's like, what is that? And I was like, it's this sour tart beer. And he referred to it as, it sounds like somebody, or it tastes like somebody had been drinking all night, threw up, and then you just made me drink that. So
yeah, I like sour tart flavors. That sounds good to me, but
like immediately I was offended, and I'm like, hey, why is this delicious? So I immediately start looking for other allies to try this beer and be like, hey, see, it's good. Like, you're completely wrong. I made everybody else try it. Everyone else hated it. But me. I was like the only one. And I was like, well, at least I don't have to worry about you all drinking my beer.
that's fine.
So, funny story with Rheingeist, Slangria.
Rheingeist. I like that name too. But yeah, and I love sangria, and I love the sour tart flavors. So all of that sounds like right on the money for me. But of course, it's not going to be for everybody, obviously. So
I'll have to ship you some.
yeah, for real. I was thinking about that earlier today. I'm like, I need to just like box some of these up and send them to him, just because, like, especially the Cobra Scare, because like that, I love that beer, and I've talked with you about it like 20 times. It's like so.
And plus, it would be only fitting that we get to try the other person's beers that we're drinking on the podcast.
Perfect idea. Okay, we need to do that on a future
For
episode.
sure.
Yeah. That would be a fantastic idea. It's like, hey, this is stuff from my home, this is stuff from your home. So
Right?
Willie Will says, I want to have a gamer style bar. Wouldn't that be cool? Yeah,
That would
it's
be awesome.
yeah, that would be great. Yeah, there's a local arcade here. They don't serve alcohol, but I'm fine with that just because it's like made to be like a real family friendly atmosphere without being like Disney-esque or anything like that. I can't think of another way to say that, but it's like it is like the coolest arcade and stuff like that. And it's all like you pay a cover charge to get in the door. All the games are free play. The only thing you have to pay for is pinball machines, and it's only because they require so much upkeep. And you're just paying quarters to play the pinball and stuff like that. But this arcade freaking rules. It's one of those places that like every time I drive by them and I see that they're still open, I thank God for it, because it's like COVID has just claimed too many great places like that. And, it's a place that I do not want to see go away. When COVID was full on and like everything was closed down, they had to be closed, obviously. Well, they did a deal where they sold, it's like a pass or whatever. It's like, the cover charge for the night, basically. It's a card that represents that. So it's essentially, you pay that and you can give that to someone as a free entry. Well, I bought a bunch of those because I'm like, dude, I want to support this place. I want them to stick around and stuff. So like, to everybody out there, if someone's creating something that you're enjoying, you ought to give money to that. I download music from independent artists all the time and stuff like that. And it's like, there's so many ways to get their music for free. And I know I can stream it from other platforms as well, but I still buy their albums and stuff because it's like, dude, if those people are not making money, they're not going to keep doing the thing that I love them to do. So this is kind of a soapbox moment here, but this is something that to me at least is very, very important. So if somebody's creating something that you're enjoying, pay them money to do it because you want them to keep doing that, right? I mean, I'm sure there's people that you buy stuff from like that as well, Adam, or maybe even like a local store that does something that maybe you could buy that thing someplace else, but if you get it from them, you're supporting someone that you believe in or someone who's doing something that you believe in, right?
I got a good case in point right here. I got my boy William Greenslade's rap album right here.
Oh, sweet.
He had it. He was like, anybody that sends 1,000 stars, I'll send him an album. I was like, well, I gotta have the whole album. And so he was like, if he ended up sending me 2 copies of it. So now I got one in the car. And then I found out that he's got it on Spotify. But I'm like, man, I'm glad I got the physical copy before I knew it was on Spotify, because now is it not only cool that I can use the Spotify thing to listen to it wherever if I'm not in my car, but I got the real deal. The case, the old school CD booklet. Like, I miss having that kind of stuff. A band drops a new CD, you always want to go out and buy it. And then you want to get to look at the lyrics and the pages and the cool band pictures of the dudes in the warehouse. You miss all that nowadays. So I'm a huge supporter of physical copies over virtual. That was actually one of the questions I was going to ask you. Not that we have to get into it at all, but it was digital versus physical. Which do you normally go for, and has that changed from 10 years ago? I feel like the convenience but the convenience part of it, the digital, is just to always have it on demand and stuff. But I still feel like there's always something to be said. The old man in me wants to have like the physical copies and the box and the instruction books and the, and I don't know. I mean, I still buy digital copy stuff, but if it comes to stuff that I really have to have, I will go out of my way to buy a physical copy if I can.
Yeah. Boy, if I would have known we were going to talk about this, I would have had more stuff on hand. But like, I just showed a cassette of a punk band that I listened to. That they were in a band I listened to back in my teenage years, and it's like a couple of the guys they're obviously much older now, but they're still rocking, baby. And they put out an album. It's really good. But yeah, they sold it. You can still buy it through Bandcamp. I buy a lot of stuff off of Bandcamp. The music we're listening to right now is an artist named Dusty Zart. Go check him out. Or let's see. Actually, I'm going to bring up his link here. So, 1 second. Well, this was not planned at all.
These are the best times.
Right, exactly. And this is the perfect time to bring this up because here we go. Let's get back over
Fast forward a
to
couple minutes, we're busting out all of our. This is my collector's edition of this. This is my collector's edition of that.
Okay, this is Dusty Zart, ZAHRT.bandcamp.com. This guy, he does heavy metal covers of NES albums, and just recently did his first Game Boy release, actually, of Castlevania The Adventure. What we're listening to right now is the Mega Man 3 soundtrack, which I bought off of his Bandcamp, and Dusty freaking rules. But you go to click more releases here, and you'll see he's got Dino Ricky, Blades of Steel, Super Mario Bros, Duck Hunt World Class Track Meet, Solstice, Castlevania 3, Willy Will, Castlevania 3, Adam, Castlevania 3,
Castlevania 3.
Super Mario Bros 2, heavy metal covers of Castlevania 3. Again, coffee combined with beer, heavy metal combined with Castlevania 3. What more do you want, people? But
I want heavy metal combined with Castlevania 3. I want that.
these are all the albums he has for sale. And the guy freaking rules. And he's a hella nice guy. Back when I first started streaming, I had a lot more more interaction with him than I have in recent months. But like, I talked with Dusty when I first started streaming, and I'm like, hey, you know, I want to play your music on my streams. I think your music's freaking rad, and I think people need to hear it. And we kind of talked about that, and he gave me some download codes to use for giveaways. And if you ever, I don't have it on this stream just because I didn't add it to the overlay. But if you're in any other of my other streams, there's a ticker that goes by that has the names of all the Patreon supporters. But it also has Dusty on there as well, because Dusty is freaking awesome, and I think he makes great stuff, and he's a really cool dude. And so anyways, check him out. But yeah, he's got a ton of albums, as you can see, for sale, obviously. And a whole lot of them absolutely worth picking up. They're all worth picking up, but there are certain ones. Mega Man 3 is my favorite Mega Man music wise, and probably my favorite one just to play as well. And this soundtrack freaking rules. Oh my gosh. The Batman soundtrack is killer. I don't know if you've ever played Batman on NES. There's one of the later levels where like there's a bass line that just destroys. And to listen to it recorded by a live musician, the dude is just insane. So yeah, check him out.
It's a great game as well.
Yeah.
The original Batman for NES like pretty much kicked the shit out of any Batman game that I went after it for probably 10 years, I feel like.
Or more.
Yeah.
Or more, yeah. Yeah, seriously. But no, he
And
just...
it had like the least accurate stuff from the Batman universe in it. Like, what were some of the enemies? Does anyone even know? And like, how did they apply to the Batman the movie? You know, like almost like how Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for Nintendo didn't have any turtle enemies in it.
Right, they got like the mud guy, and then this is the
frog. There's
flying
just, like,
robot thing, bro.
now there's green berets that know kung fu. Okay.
Yeah, that was one thing I never understood about that game, and still don't. Yeah.
And like the Batman game was like licensed from the movie of Michael Keaton. I mean, it even has like scenes from the movie in the game. What the hell are these enemies that are in this game? Like, I want you to play the sewer level in Batman and tell me that any of those creatures are in the movie at one point, and I'll give you $5.
Right.
Mark it down, $5, folks.
Yeah, it's I don't know why they did that with so many games, because there's several of them where it's just like, where did these people come from? They have nothing to do with the franchise whatsoever, but they're part of the game. But I don't know. At least we have the games, and the games were good usually. So I mean, at least I really enjoy the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. It's hard as heck.
They're both fantastic games, but what was going on?
I know, really. It's like, all right, who are we gonna put in the game today?
I mean, I guess I can understand having trouble like coming off of Batman the movie, because I mean, what else are you gonna have in it other than like the Joker's thugs, I suppose? But when it comes to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you've got the whole canon at your
Right.
disposal.
It's not like there's
know?
any shortage of options, right?
Yeah, why are you making up enemies? You literally have a grab bag of stuff to choose from out of here.
Yeah. Makes no
I don't know.
sense.
And then
Oh,
Turtles in Time, had Foot Clan soldiers with just 9 different color palette swaps. Oh man, these are the yellow ones. I hate the yellow ones.
Yeah, Cuddy's been asking me to play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for a while, and it's funny, the other day I was like, man, I really want to play that game. It'll get played, Cuddy. I love that game. I just need to finish some other stuff before I get onto it. Jeremy Stice, Heavy Metal DuckTales. Yes, Heavy Metal DuckTales. And Daniel Oldenkamp said, note for note remakes, pure greatness. And that's the absolute truth. They are note for note remakes of the original soundtracks in the same tempo. No joke. Like, if there was a way to do this, I don't know how you could, but like, if you could pull out the in-game music and replace it with his soundtrack, it would line up perfectly, exactly the same. It's crazy.
That's awesome.
So, anyways, there's my soapbox there.
Because if you said Heavy Metal and Castlevania 3, and I fell in love, so I'm gonna have to look that up.
That's cool, man. Yeah, it's totally worth it. So, hey, good night, Clive. Thanks for coming by, buddy. Appreciate it.
That's Yorkshire Retro Gamer. See you later, Clive.
Yeah, it is a fun game. It is very, very hard. But that's one that I really enjoy, though, even despite the difficulty. So, Adam, did you want to do another fill in the blank?
I was gonna say, should we move on to number 4?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. UK retailers Marks and Spencers have released this controversial name for its latest holiday treat. Is it A, Kringle's Crinkle Nut, B, Rudolph's Red Rocket, C, cream-filled bear claws, or D, Santa's Yum Nut?
Oh my gosh, none of those sound good.
One of them is the right answer, I promise you. The other 3 I made up.
See, like, now I'm just thinking, like, I'm going to judge you for all the ones that you made up. But again, none of them sound good. So I'm going to go for Rudolph's Red Rocket just because that one makes me laugh the most.
I will say that I was the most proud of that one. The answer is Santa's Yum Nut.
Wow.
And here, I'll send you the link because it shows you a picture of said Yum Nut. There you go.
Oh, this is going to be good.
The groaner was the cream-filled bear claws.
An absolutely filthy name. It's not the Mark and Spencer just unveiled a new cronut style pastry for the Christmas season, but it's not the delicious flaky layers that's winning attention on social media. It's the name Santa's Yum Nut. Wow, look at that thing. Oh my gosh. That looks like it's
Yum
about
Nut.
10,000 calories too. Good Lord. It's like bathed in butter.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it wouldn't be a Yum Nut if it wasn't.
Oh, I love this tweet. I feel strongly that the name of this donut must be reconsidered. Because that person is 100% sincere saying
Oh
that.
yes. I feel very strongly.
Oh my gosh. How many folks did you run that name by? But yeah, see, that's one of those things where it's like, not to take this into controversial territory or anything, but it's like when Netflix put out the ads for that new movie with the little girls like twerking, and all of a sudden it got all that backlash, obviously. It's like,
Oh yeah.
who are the people that okayed this stuff and was like, yep, this is a good idea. Let's put that out into the world.
Yeah, this won't get a negative reaction at all.
Yeah. Yeah. People on the internet don't love to get upset about stuff constantly.
And irrationally.
Yeah, that's insane. Santa's Yum Nut. Oh,
I love the horny Santa people have logged on. Like that's a whole demographic of people.
yeah. No judgment here on Beer O'Clock, but yeah, if you're into Santa in that way, I am gonna judge you. And
Like,
we'll
you know,
encourage others to do so as well.
yes, I identify as a Santa-sexual.
I've been to Marks and Spencer's in London. Nice store, says Daniel Aldenkamp. Nice. Oh my gosh.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy stuff. Wow. I mean, it looks like it probably tastes great, but yeah, still
Yeah,
no.
I'm sure it is delicious.
Still
I mean,
no forgiveness for that name. So yeah.
Still no forgiveness. Hey, it's better than Rudolph's Red Rocket, though. Can you imagine what that would have been like?
Yeah, that would have been crazy. Oh my gosh. Okay, Adam and I were just talking about this the other day because he mentioned a movie and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's like one of my favorite movies." And he was like, "Mine too." So I want to see if this is one that you've heard of or not. Death to Smoochie. Did you ever watch that?
No.
No? Oh, you need to go back and watch it. It's a dark comedy.
Death to Gucci.
Death to Smoochie. It's Edward Norton and Robin Williams,
Ooh.
and Catherine Keener. But obviously Robin Williams and Edward Norton are kind of the marquee names for that movie. But
Why have I not heard of this movie?
it did not do well at all. Oh, Danny DeVito's in it too, actually.
Oh.
But it did not do well at all. But Robin Williams plays Smoochie the Rhino, who is a washed-up children's TV show star or whatever. Or I'm sorry, no. Robin Williams plays Rainbow Randolph. Sorry, who is starred in a children's TV show called Rainbow Randolph, and he gets busted for taking bribes and stuff like that, and so he gets booted off of the network, and it ruins his life. And the
Oh my
network
God.
decides that they need to get someone who's squeaky clean and above reproach. So they grab Edward Norton, who has a character called Smoochie the Rhino, and he's performing at that point in the Coney Island Methadone Clinic. As people are
Coney Island Method.
right, but he's this like he's like a saint of a person, and that's the whole thing about his character is that he's just squeaky clean, 100% positive, and all that. Well, once the network goes for him, he blows up and everything, and Robin Williams hates it, and he's trying to sabotage him and stuff. Anyways, Smoochie, or Death to Smoochie, you need to check it out. Everybody needs to watch that.
I will have to check that out.
Yeah.
I can't believe I haven't heard of it.
Again, not fine cinema at all, but I thought it was a great movie and a lot of fun. I need to go watch it again and see if it holds up or not. Damn, Oliver, gotta drink my wife's Truly lemonade, says Willie Will.
Hey,
Truly
man,
lemonade.
I've drank a wife's Truly lemonade before, and they're really not that bad.
What is Truly lemonade? I've never even heard of that.
So Truly's like a brand of like the hard seltzers, but the
Ah.
lemonade one is like a seltzer infused with lemonade, so it takes away like the TV static taste that seltzers
The
give you.
TV static taste. That's a good way to describe it.
That's exactly how I just every time I drink, I'm like, oh god, it's just awful. Like, so it takes that away from it, and at least you get like a lemonade part. And
Yeah.
so it's not that bad, after you've had a few.
After you've had a few, right? Yeah, get to the point where you're like, this is okay.
Yeah, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
What is this again? Milwaukee's Best Ice? Huh, I don't know what all the fuss is about.
Why do people gripe about this? This isn't so bad.
You wake up the next morning with a headache that would, split a tree in half. Now I understand why.
Oh man. Did you have any other fill in the blanks?
Daniel says, dang, Adam, I thought you were old. I've seen that movie. That doesn't mean that I'm not old, Daniel. That just means that I obviously have no taste in movies.
Smoochie, Death to Smoochie, man. I rented it on VHS from my local Blockbuster. Watched it on VHS from my local Blockbuster. Probably returned it late and paid late fees to my local Blockbuster, which I would gladly do again just for Blockbuster to come back into existence. So.
I agree with you 100%.
I've thought about that, man. There's still that one Blockbuster in Bend, Oregon. Where it's like, man, you take the kids up there and see Blockbuster before it doesn't exist anymore. That would be cool.
Man. Imagine like the job security those employees must, be like in fear of the whole time. Like, is this the day we roll up and there's a sign on the door?
Right, yeah.
this today. You know what I mean? Like, just constantly live in fear. But I mean, I feel like at that point, it's got to be so privately owned. It's like a family-run business or something, you know?
Yeah, that one is it's a private franchise or something like that. So yeah, it's not part of Blockbuster corporate, which is the only reason why it still exists.
Can you imagine like a corporate office existing for just one branch of a Blockbuster Video?
That would be crazy. Yeah.
We just got this handed down from corporate. Like, you know, like, well, it's just us. So
We are corporate.
you know, we don't really need to have the briefing meetings anymore.
Jeremy Stice said, we still have a family video in Jacksonville, Illinois. Yes, they still rent videos and games. We have a family video here. Do you guys have any video rental places in your area?
We had family videos. The last one that I know of just is now going out of business, like as we speak, in the process of.
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah, see, mine started putting up signs. The family. I've never even been in there, to be honest with you, but like, they started putting up signs and stuff now that they sell like CBD and stuff. And I'm like, if your family video is starting to sell CBD, they ain't making enough money.
I was just going to say, I was like, you know, I could tell the decline of the family videos because in the beginning they started attaching themselves to gyms. So then you had like the family video / gym membership pass that worked between both businesses. And then when that started to not work, then they were pushing the CBD oils, and it was like, all right, well, I guess, you know, if we can't start selling the CBD oils with Half Baked, you know, the movie rental, then what are we even doing here? And
well,
then,
if it's Half Baked that's for rental, I'm definitely in.
you know, like somebody in the marketing department should have been smart. Rent any of these titles and get a free CBD oil. You know, it's like Airheads, Half Baked, Biodome. You know?
Doctor said I need a backiotomy.
Yeah. Friday, you know, how high, that kind of stuff. Like, I mean, I would rent a movie if I got a free CBD oil out of it, you know?
Right, yeah, rent this, get some free CBD. So, yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm a big picture guy, Steve. Big picture guy.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Or not.
I've got. Oh, actually, where are we at here? Looking at my list. Actually, did you have any other fill in the blanks?
I've got one more if you want to do
Let's
it.
do the other one.
All right. This is probably the best one.
Oh, good.
A Vietnamese factory was recently investigated and found guilty of recycling, repackaging, and reselling its own products. What was the product? Was it A, airbags, B, condoms, C, garbage bags, or D, feminine products?
Whoa, man. Some of those are rough. I was like, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed here, and I'm going to say garbage bags.
You would be incorrect, sir.
Oh, wow.
The answer was B, condoms.
Oh. This is why we won the war, people.
I could not believe the headline of this when I read it. And I mean, it doesn't go into too much detail other than it says that they raided a factory near Ho Chi Minh City where they found that used condoms were being repacked for sale. And the person who owns the factory confessed that they bought the used condoms from one dude in the province. It says, bought the used condoms from a man in the province. Like,
oh, is that so? Oh
what
my
is
gosh.
this guy doing? You know, he's supplying a factory over here. Can we talk about this?
Get
like,
this off my-
What's more unbelievable, the fact that they're reusing them, or the fact that this is all coming from one guy?
All the videos on this page are horrific. Get this off of my screen. The further down I scroll, the worse it gets.
I told you it was the best one.
Oh wow!
It was like the most. It was, to me, it was the most unbelievable thing.
That
like,
is unbelievable.
There's no way that this is real life, and it is.
The final line of the article is like, the newspaper quoted a health official as saying, "The recycled condoms posed an extreme health risk to users."
An extreme.
You think?
Yeah.
Understatement of the century.
Can you imagine? I just run them through the top rack of the dishwasher. You'll be fine.
Oh my gosh.
You know?
Wow. That is horrific. Wow.
So, yeah, that is the best that the 3 websites that I found were worth merit. So
Well-
stay tuned for more segments of that.
yeah. That'll bring him back in. Oh my gosh, that is crazy. Okay, let's talk about this one before we finish up here because I want to talk about it while it's still recent news. Alex Trebek passed away. Sad loss. And as I observed a few days ago, I think he held on just long enough to outlive Sean Connery. Just to say, suck it, Connery. At one point, but no, I wonder if honestly, if those guys, and I'm referring to the SNL sketches of Celebrity Jeopardy, but I wonder if Trebek ever met Sean Connery, or if they ever talked about those sketches. That would have been
About the rivalry.
right, yeah.
I would like to think that famous people do that kind of stuff, though. You know, like if there's ever any spoofs of them, you know, like that, I would like to think, you know, if that would happen to us, you know, I'd be like, hey Steve, did you see how they did you on Saturday Night Live the other day? You know, like, I mean, that would be hilarious. Of course, you'd have to, you know, I feel like they would have to talk about it.
Right.
It's such an intense rivalry, though.
Yeah, really, and to carry it on over so many episodes. You know, you knew that like after the very first one, they knew they had struck oil and just kept mining. You know, so hey, thanks for the follow there, Roach type person. Appreciate it.
Roach Steve, what's up?
So I want to know, Adam, who do you think should replace Sir Alex?
Ooh, I'm glad that we kind of briefly touched on this because I would be like right now, I would probably draw a huge blank, but since we've talked about it earlier, I'm gonna go Nick Offerman.
For those of you who don't know, Nick Offerman, guy who played Ron Swanson on Parks and Recreation. You know, you mentioned that one the other day, and you were the one who'd actually first asked the question of like, who do you think should replace Alex? And you said Nick Offerman, and after you said that, and actually, anyone in the chat, drop your comments of who you think should replace Alex Trebek. Daniel Clay says Mort should replace him. Keith says Steve Harvey, he does everything. Steve Harvey would not have my support on that. I like Steve Harvey, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I would not want him on Jeopardy. But yeah, I would take Mort on Jeopardy, however. But
Canceled after 1 season.
yeah, I just, ever since you said that, it's like, good Lord, I can't really think of anybody else who I think would take up that mantle well. But it's funny because I remember I felt the same way when Bob Barker stepped down from Price is Right. I almost said pass, but he didn't die. He just stepped down.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
Drew Carey's great at Price is Right. I never would have picked him as the successor for Bob Barker on Price is Right.
No, great job. I agree with that.
I think he's done a great job. You know, so, but let's see. Roach type person says Stephen Fry. Stephen Fry would be a fantastic Jeopardy host, actually.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
I don't know that he would have any interest in it, but I think he would do a good job of it, though.
You remember when we talked about it being Ricky Gervais?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah, that was who I had mentioned, but I said it kind of smirking a little bit. But yeah, I was like, get Ricky Gervais. But the reason why I said him is because Ricky Gervais is very smart. But he's also got that sort of dry wit, which Alex always had, sorry. So it's like they're kind of congruent in those areas, but Ricky has that hard edge, which I don't know. Maybe that's where Jeopardy should go in 2020. Now, Jeremy Stice said no one take it off the air. But I don't know. I kind of doubt they're going to do that. I think they will find a successor at some point. Someone who I honestly think that they will probably approach about it, and I would actually have my money on this person taking over, is Oh my gosh, I just blanked on the dude's name. I follow him on Twitter. He's hilarious.
Don't
He-
leave us in suspense.
He's the guy who he won Jeopardy like a million times, and like
And
the, Ken Jennings. Yes, thank you. Good Lord. I
Yeah.
would bet that Ken Jennings, they approach him at least about it. Whether or not he accepts it and actually does it, I don't know. I could definitely see Ken Jennings doing it though, and I think he would do a good job.
As long as it's not Ryan Seacrest or somebody like that, I don't care who that.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, that wouldn't that be awful? Oh man.
Yeah.
That'd be like having like Russell Brand hosted or something like that.
Adam Levine. What are you doing? There's no
Oh.
singing on this show. Get out of here.
Yeah, that would be far less
Seth
than I'd
MacFarlane.
ideal.
I mean, I could get behind Seth MacFarlane. I think.
Seth MacFarlane, Seth MacFarlane really kind of shocked me with thank you for the like, Sergio. What's up, buddy? He shocked me with The Orville. Did you ever watch The Orville?
Yes.
That was a surprisingly legit sci-fi show.
And I
Yeah.
like Star Trek, so
Yeah,
it's
I
kind
do.
of- it's kind of an easy sell. I like
And-
Family Guy. I like Star Trek.
Yeah, right. Yeah, best of both worlds. Yeah, but he's one
Yeah.
I never would have pegged to actually do a show like that and do it well. And I really thought that he did. The show didn't last, but that's not saying much. There's tons of great shows that haven't lasted, But,
Nobody watches TV anymore, really. It's all like Netflix original series and stuff like that now.
Yeah, that's why I hope that so many other great series that met an unjust end, I'll say, get life breathed into them by some of these, online development houses, whether it's through Netflix or Hulu or Peacock. Peacock, oh my gosh, that's the NBC streaming app.
Yeah.
We got that. Number one, it's really cheap actually, but number two, we can watch soccer through there. My wife and I watch soccer, and we use the Peacock app to do that. But they've got a lot of really good programming on there, actually. So yeah, they're not sponsoring us though. Peacock, give us some money. Keep the show
They're
going.
not sponsoring us though, so
Wait, Orville season 3 starts production next month, says Daniel. What? Are you serious? That's
Let's
insane.
oh yeah.
Jeremy Stiles, dude who plays Deadpool. If nothing else, it would be funny as hell. That's funny. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds. So Ryan Reynolds being the next Alex Trebek. Wow, that would be.
Yeah, we need to
interesting.
have like a Jeopardy host bracket.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and get a pool going.
Yeah, we
and winner take all on that thing. My money would be on Ken Jennings, but.
I don't know how Ken Jennings' stage presence is, though. I mean, he's got the notoriety and the smarts, obviously, but
Right.
like, you still got to be like Alex Trebek cool, which is like, pretty hard to do.
Let's see here. I'm pulling up. Da-da-da-da-da. Ken Jennings, 452,000 followers on Twitter. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at,
I mean, this is just a tiny bit more than what I have.
Your Jeopardy pal, first thing in his bio. Author of Planet Funny and a bunch of other stuff. Omnibus co-founder, Omnibus Project. But yeah, I mean, he's a smart dude. He's funny. He's no Ryan Reynolds, but he's not an Uggo or anything, so you could put him on TV.
I didn't say he was going to be like the scientist from The Simpsons.
Wait. Oh, wait. Yeah, okay. You say the scientist from The Simpsons, but all I'm thinking is Dr. Nick. Who's the scientist? Oh, the Laven. Yeah, that guy. Oh, okay. I was like, who is the scientist from The Simpsons? I totally drew a blank on that. Oh my gosh.
Yes, that guy.
Wow. Yeah, that's funny. It's a diabetes guy or one of the ball. Tyrone the crackhead from Chappelle's show. Tyrone Biggums. That would be funny. Oh my gosh. Well, we've hit the 2-hour mark, and Adam's got a stream to get ready for here. So the guy behind the red door in IT crowd. Oh man, yeah. What is his name? Good gosh. It's funny when it's only because we're live that I can't think of these things. Any other day I could have told you.
I can't believe nobody said Gordon Ramsay. Could you imagine him just berating
Oh.
people that say the wrong answers?
That would be crazy. You know, it's funny because you see him in most other things that he's in, and he actually seems like a decent enough fellow. Noel Fielding, that's who we're thinking of there, Daniel. Noel Fielding. He would be interesting, but I think I don't know how he would do for American audiences. I don't know that they would really get him. But I do like Noel Fielding though. Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye, he's an actor. I love Bill Nye actually though. He's a great actor.
I'm like picturing the two of them combined.
Bill Nye the
like-
Science Guy. Do you think he could host Jeopardy?
I mean, I'm sure he could.
Hmm.
I don't know if he would have like the funniness, like the kind of. I picture like Alex Trebek. I picture like dry humor, kind of like underlying smartass from time to time, and it takes a certain individual to kind of get that dry humor like good. That's why I go Nick Offerman, because I think he would be he could like do a good job of calling you an idiot, but like make you laugh about it too.
Right. Have you
Yeah.
read any of his books?
I haven't. I've seen his stand up before.
I've not watched it. It's funny. See, I'm the opposite. I haven't watched his stand up, but I've read one of his books. And he's a smart, worldly guy. I mean, he's an interesting dude, to say the least. To say the very, very least. Oh wow. Okay.
Powerful.
Yeah, he's got a very very interesting outlook on things.
Sorry, everybody.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
He seems like the
I've been
dude I would
listening
want to
to
hang out with.
podcast, and my phone's about to die.
Ah, there we go. Taking care of business. Oh my gosh. Okay, so but anyways, I was saying a minute ago, Adam, you've got a podcast, or I'm sorry, you've got a stream to get ready for. Am I right? I don't want to hold you too late here, man.
I mean, I'm good. I'm good where the journey takes us.
Where the journey takes us. Well, how, oh, sheesh. Oh, I was doing this. Oh, that fell over.
Ooh,
So we gotta do this. Wow.
Freeman.
Morgan Freeman. I don't know. He's got like a day left. I don't know if he's who we want to. I don't know if we want to put him in the driver's seat for Jeopardy right after losing the host of many years. So
He says he's got a day left.
I like Morgan Freeman. Don't get me wrong. He's got a great voice. But yeah, I don't know that we want to put that weight of responsibility on. Okay, how old is Morgan Freeman? Let's Google this here. We got the wealth of the internet here.
Oh man,
at our fingertips.
it's those kind of moments that I live for.
Whoa, 83 years old, Morgan Freeman.
Hmm.
Yeah, do we want to make him host Jeopardy? Plus, I think he's a little too cool for Jeopardy. Almost.
When you say it like that, when you say it like that, plus he's too cool for Jeopardy. I'm too good to hang with the nerds.
Daniel says Neil deGrasse Tyson. I don't know, man. He's another one that I would put in the category of not being interested in it.
Let's just go X Factor and say Gilbert Godfrey.
Here's your question. Oh, that would be terrible. Oh wow.
Oh, you would watch it, admit it.
I would, but it would be more one of those like when you're slowing down as you drive by a car accident kind of things.
Sure. I miss that show Hollywood Squares, man. What a great game show that was. Gilbert Godfrey would always be like in the middle.
Right. Or that
Yeah.
see that shows like that wouldn't have survived without like D-list Hollywood actors though, like Kathy Griffin, Bruce Valanche. Like, what in the world has Bruce Valanche even done?
And oh my god, he pulled that name out of nowhere. I would never.
Because I watched Hollywood Squares back in the day, but I also grew up in a channel that had, or in a house that had 2 channels. So, in my defense.
Goldberg would be on there.
Oh my gosh.
Rosie O'Donnell.
Is she still alive?
She-
I'm just I haven't seen anything out of her in forever.
Yeah, that's true.
See, comedy writer. So I'll bring this up on screen. Oh, not wrong thing here. Bruce Valanche, comedy writer, songwriter, actor. Why was he ever on that show?
there anything he can't do?
You know, like I said earlier about Ken Jennings, is like he's not gonna beat out Ryan Reynolds in a beauty contest, but he's not an Uggo. Who in the world wants to look at Bruce Valanche?
Nobody.
Let's put that guy in center square. I'm being mean. We shouldn't do that.
That's good stuff.
Bill
Jeremy said
Goldberg.
Bruce
Whoopi
Willis
Goldberg.
put a heart attack away from the grave.
French Stewart. Oh my gosh.
Podcast is getting dark. Morgan Freeman's got a day left. Rosie
Oh.
O'Donnell one heart attack away.
Oh my gosh, Adam, you know how we were talking about this the other day and I told you, I was like, I read a tweet and someone said the perfect host for Jeopardy and I could not for the life of me remember who that was. I just remembered who it was because of Daniel Oldenkamp and his comment. Geordie LaForge, what is his name? Oh my gosh. Reading Rainbow. Huh?
I know who you're
LeVar
talking-
Burton. LeVar Burton.
Yeah.
LeVar Burton would be a great host for Jeopardy.
Oh,
He's
man,
smart.
you're right. I was
He's
just
funny,
watching this
but
generation.
dry humor, doesn't have that hard edge. And people love him. You can't not like LeVar Burton.
You can't not. I completely agree.
Yeah, Willie Will says, oh, that's a good one. Yeah, as soon as I read that, I was like, stop the search right now. That's
I
who
was
you
gonna
need.
say, now that you say that, I kind of want to withdraw my Nick Offerman and replace it with LeVar Burton.
Yeah, I don't think Nick would want to get. He loves acting too much, I think, to do that. But I mean, not that that's to say that one is better than the other, but like LeVar Burton. I mean, honestly, what's he doing these days other than appearing at Star Trek conventions? You know. So,
Yeah.
um,
I would love to be the host of Jeopardy.
hey, let's get some votes for Adam to be host for Jeopardy. I don't know who we need to talk to about that, but
Can we make it happen, team? Fam?
we should do it. We should make that happen. Vote for Adam, host of Jeopardy.
SLG on Jeopardy?
SLG on Jeopardy. Hey guys, before this next category, we're gonna play some games. Mort's gonna come out and do a dance for you. Oh my gosh.
In this category, streamer acronyms that start with S.
Give me swords. It began with the bloody S. Oh my gosh.
You wrote down Three. Combination of 3 and 5.
I went back and watched those again this afternoon after we talked about that. I'm like, I need to watch those. I haven't seen those in forever. So good stuff.
Oh man, classic skits, man.
Oh man. Well, Adam, we've had 2 beers and I've got to pee. So,
Sounds
everybody, thank you so much for coming out tonight. I hope you enjoyed your time with us. I know.
episode 1 in the books.
Yeah, I'll tell you. You know what's funny is Adam and I kept talking about like ideas and stuff of what we want to talk about, and there was always kind of an underlying current of, are we going to have enough material? And I've got several things that I wrote down that we did not cover. So we definitely will have stuff to talk about next time around. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you press that like button. It helps us out a ton. Would really, really appreciate it. And if you're feeling extra generous, share us on your personal timeline. We would really appreciate that too. So, hey, be on the lookout. If there are topics you want to discuss in the future, questions that you have for us, just about like what are our thoughts on things, or questions about streaming, questions about our thoughts and opinions on video games, or whatever it might be, let us know, and we can work that up into the next episode. Otherwise, we got a ton of stuff that we want to talk about anyways. So thank you so much.
Only a
And
hashtag away, folks.
yeah, exactly. Only a hashtag away. I had a great time. Adam, thank you so much. Really enjoyed it, man.
Thank you for having me, as always.
Sweet. Everybody, have yourselves a great rest of your evening, and make sure you check out Server Life Gaming, who will be going live later this evening.
Hopefully, we'll see. I'm just-
You know, Adam, yeah, actually, I shouldn't put him on the hook for that. Adam's not feeling well, so I think he handled tonight like a champ, but we'll see if he's able to do that or not. And if not, send some good vibes his direction. Yeah, Jeremy, there will definitely never be politics discussed on here.
Castlevania 3, No Deather tonight. SLG. Tune in.
Yeah, we're gonna make it happen. Your compliments of cold medicine and codeine and all that other stuff.
Pop syrup and Slangria. Epic gameplay.
Right? Yeah, it does a body good, right? So,
It does do a body good.
oh my gosh! All right, you guys have
Thank you
yourselves.
everyone for joining us. This was a blast, Steve. Again, thank you. Everybody in the chat, thank you for making this as awesome as it was. Loved it. Had a great time.
Yeah, me too. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it. Now this time I'm the one who's like, oh my gosh, I've got to pee.
Now this is the part where we talk to each other like Saturday Night Live, where the credits are rolling, and we're just like, "Hey, what's going on? I think we're supposed to be acting like we're talking right now. Do you want to laugh? Yeah, we should laugh."
I always think those people like secretly hate each other, kind of like us, you know.
We secretly hate each other.
It's like as soon as that music starts playing in the bank, it's like wah, 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 wah. They're like, you son of a.
You son